So I'm calling Tyran Brown right now. We live and in color. Tyran Brown 24/7 on Instagram. What'd you think, man?
Well, first of all, I want to apologize to everybody because I'm on this shuttle. I'm on this shuttle right now getting a rental car, so sorry if y'all can't hear me. But all in all I'm gonna say is I watched that fight. It was a good fight, and what I saw was a man that can't beat Errol Spence at all.
Like it's I was watching the fight, replacing Benavidez with Errol Spence the whole fight.
I think everybody would.
Yeah, okay, and dude, it's just no way he could stand up to him. Errol Spence would have broke Benavidez' ribs. Errol Spence would.
First of all, we talking about a one-legged fighter. Like, I was interested to see, what it would look like with the knee after it gets shot, and then it was interesting to me, like all of his workouts and everything. He had sweats on, so when I saw him come out with that knee pad on, I was already thinking to myself, and then you can see him dragging his right foot from the first round.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you definitely could. And dude, if Benavidez, I'm play devil's advocate. I had Terrence Crawford winning 10 out of 12 rounds, but if Jose Benavidez would have treated Terrence Crawford like his little brother, you know what I mean? Like, even if he doesn't exchange with him, he walks to him, roughs him up, the ref breaks it up, maybe he lands something on the inside. I thought if he would have had that type of game plan, it would have infuriated Terrence Crawford, because Terrence Crawford needs space. Terrence Crawford has a skill set to fight on the inside, but he's vulnerable on the inside. He's so vulnerable. He's not. Go ahead.
He's vulnerable. Yeah, he's vulnerable on the inside. Sometimes he lets his emotions get the best of him in exchanges. Mm-hmm. And what this fight showed you, because this was a taller dude, but he wasn't necessarily a bigger dude, but he just had a bigger frame. Mm-hmm. So this fight showed you that Terrence Crawford ain't strong enough to fight on the inside with welterweight, because he couldn't even move. You saw times he was trying to move Benavidez and he couldn't.
No, and if Benavidez would have had a good right leg, he wouldn't have been able to move him at all. Exactly. Benavidez could only fight on one level because he can't bend.
Can't bend, couldn't move side to side.
Mm-hmm. But I thought I thought he had the right game plan in the beginning. You know what I mean? But I thought he could have done more. I'm not in his body, but I thought he just should have gave it all between 8 through 10 and see where he's at, as opposed to waiting. I don't think there's no chance he could win, but I don't think he gets stopped. I thought he should have pressed a little more.
I feel, to be honest with you, I feel like the stoppage was inevitable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
With the press. Okay. Just based off the leg, but I felt he could have made a better account of himself. I feel like he could have knocked Terrence Crawford down. I feel like he could have even possibly made Terrence Crawford retreat if he would have just started going for broke earlier when he had a little more energy left. Yeah. And then that would have made Terrence Crawford possibly like second guess him and take it easier on him after the sixth round. After the sixth round, Benavidez was just trying to do whatever he could. My dad texted me. I was on the flight, but I had the internet or whatever. Uh-huh. So my dad was texting me. He was like, "Why is Benavidez?" My dad, he don't follow boxing today as much. So my dad was like, "Why is Benavidez keep like putting his hands down?" I was like, "Dad, he's trying to buy time." Uh-huh. His leg is hurting. Crawford's starting to land his combination, so he's trying to buy time. Mm-hmm. But you would see he would do that, and then in spurts, like I said, I had to fight 10-2, 9-3. It was wide, but there was spurts. He would win like little 15 seconds of spurts around.
And he was a more powerful puncher in the fight.
Yeah.
he was a stronger guy in terms of one punch power. You know, he wasn't the best athlete all around, but I thought if he would have fought in bunches like you said, dude, he would have scared the shit out of Omaha. If he would have did it early, because early in the fight, especially the first 4 rounds, he could take everything Terrence Crawford wanted to dish out.
He was eating it like lunch.
Oh man, and he was fearless in it. But here's another thing too. What we never knew about Jose Benavidez, he didn't accept who he was in this fight. He should have knew my body is only in 8 rounds. My body is only in condition for 8 rounds.
Right.
I don't care what my dad say. I don't care what David Benavidez say. I know who I am as a fighter. If he knew he was physically an 8-round fighter, he should have fought in 2-round increments. Like, okay, I'm gonna fill him out the first 2 rounds. I'm gonna go 90 to 100 rounds 4 through 6 or 2 through 6 and see where I'm at. But I have to impose myself earlier. I have to fight an 8-round fight basically. Terrence Crawford can fight for 12 because he doesn't know who I am. But because I know my physical limitations, and in the second round he learned a lot. The first 2 rounds he learned a lot. He learned Terrence Crawford can't knock me out. I can move. I can footwork Terrence Crawford to the point where he becomes a defensive fighter, and I know he's gonna push. He's gonna use that check hook, that right hook, and get out to the right. I know what he's gonna do, so I'm gonna go to work right now. I'm gonna get.
And he also saw that. He also saw that Terrence Crawford kind of telegraphed his punches. That was a performance of Terrence Crawford where I was like, wow, like a lot of his punches, like I said, by the 6th round when he slowed down, and Terrence Crawford, like you just saw the foot speed difference, so he was able to get to him quickly. The first 6 rounds, Terrence Crawford was having trouble landing.
Yeah, and another thing too, 147 is a completely different world than 140. I saw it tonight. I said, God. I mean, he's an elite fighter, so he's going to beat the B level and the C plus fighters because God made him different. So naturally, but when you get up into the A level fighter, if I'm anybody in 147, get me Terrence Crawford right now.
Yeah, I would agree. I still think just skills wise, he beats everybody except Errol. Mm-hmm. I think Keith Thurman has it. Well, I mean, we don't even know what Keith Thurman is right now.
I'm only basing Keith Thurman off his last performance. Keith Thurman beats Terrence Crawford, in my humble opinion.
I think Terrence Crawford looks more impressive in the fight, but I think Keith Thurman's physicality could be a huge factor. And I think even Sean Porter, like I think Terrence Crawford handles Sean Porter rather easily, but it's just will Terrence Crawford be able to take that pressure? Mm-hmm. Because Terrence Crawford didn't fold a lot at these times, but let's be honest, like I said, he wasn't in. He was in with a taller fighter, but he wasn't in with a big, strong body. Mm-hmm. But you saw little glimpses of, okay, if this was a different fighter, Terrence Crawford. I mean, you saw the body shot that he landed in the third. Terrence Crawford almost.
He didn't like it at all. He didn't like. Well, who would like that shot? I'm not gonna sit here and say I would have liked that shot, but he's like, oh damn, I didn't expect that one, and it kind of shocked his whole left side of his body a little bit. He's like, oh, okay.
Then you see, I'm not sure what round it was in, but Benavidez landed a punch, and then their bodies kind of collided, and it was Terrence Crawford that flew back, and Benavidez stood still.
Yeah. I think it might have been the end of a round, right? Is that the what you're talking about? Round 6 or something like that? Round 5 or 6? I know it was after the body shot.
So we talking about somebody in Benavidez himself who just came up to 147, been shot in the leg, is not that athletic anyway. He's not athletic.
He has no athleticism. He is a trained boxer. You know what I mean?
Right.
He has no.
And so we saw for the first half of the fight. I'm just watching that fight, and then the funny thing is too, Terrence Crawford, like at Southpaw, you see he was able to keep his foot on the outside of Benavidez. But once again, you're not gonna have that advantage going Southpaw against Errol Spence. I mean, the only the only advantage I see with Crawford or Spence is it seems like Crawford is a little bit more fleet of foot. But one thing we know about Errol Spence is he doesn't get tired at all. So
who cares about fleet of foot because he's going to the body? And Terrence Crawford against him stopped in the corners by himself because he wanted to. Against Errol Spence, he's gonna be on the top of Errol Spence's shoulders. That's the only way he's gonna get rest is putting his shoulders on top of his and the ref breaking it up. But let me say this too. I don't know how you feel about this. Terrence Crawford is not a dog at 147. He's a boxer. He's a boxer with a high grade of skill.
Elaborate on that because I might disagree with you.
Oh, okay, thank you. Because he can't emotionally impose his will. He didn't emotionally impose his will. He was fighting a three-legged dog. Like, you know how Terrence Crawford, do you follow Terrence Crawford on social medias?
No, really.
Okay. Well, I watch every fighter, everything that they do. So, he imposes his will on everyone in his life, not in a negative way, not his. I'm talking about, but he just imposes his will on them, whether it's in checkers, chess, wrestling, playing around. People call it a competitive spirit, but it's an imposing spirit. He didn't have an imposing spirit tonight.
Okay.
Like Mike Tyson, like it was like, oh, this shit is over. Like, how long is this shit gonna last? Like, he just gonna teeter-totter with him. It was none of that. It was.
There was no point. Like I said, even though I had to score wide, there was no point that Terrence Crawford would dominate the fight. And the only reason he got the knockout is because Jose Benavidez just went for both in the 12th round.
Yeah, I thought this performance overall, A-level performance, because that's just who we do. But because we're comparing it to such a great fighter, he kind of took a half a step back or a full step back to me.
I agree. I think anybody who's not emotionally attached to Terrence Crawford and even not even mostly attached to Errol Spence, but just looking at it, I was looking to see any kind of Terrence Crawford has great foot speed. He got some decent hand speed. I didn't see any like glaring hand speed that could possibly what's the word I'm looking for? I didn't see like a glaring hand speed that could like throw Errol Spence off his track or anything like that. Now, like I said, I was starting to disagree with what you're saying, but now I see where you're coming from. Like, he wasn't able to oppose his will, but I do think he had the dog spirit in him. But I think if Terrence Crawford is honest with himself in this fight, he'll go back and say, "Oh, I ain't gonna be able to do the same thing at welterweight that I'm able."
No.
We saw Benavidez was catching him with some good shots every now and then. Once again, even past Errol Spence, I'm thinking, ooh, Keith Thurman last time? Ooh, I don't know.
For real. Off of Keith.
Benavidez wasn't necessarily that quick or that strong or anything like that, and a lot of his counter punches he was throwing was kind of telegraphed as well. So I'm like, damn, it's not that hard to land on Terrence Crawford, and then I take it back to the Gamboa fight. I'm like, yo, it's when Crawford gets in that zone where he wants to engage. It's pretty easy to hit. And even though Errol Spence likes to be a close fighting on the inside, Errol Spence doesn't really leave his face open like that. Now, Keith Thurman does leave his face open like that, but he's not on the inside a lot. So it's a lot of little variables. But I want to touch on something you said too, because you said he has the intangibles to fight on the inside, but doesn't have the tools, and I agree with you 100% on that.
Yeah, go ahead.
And at this fight, since Benavidez was started, in the early rounds, Benavidez was kind of winning the outside fight. And so, it's obvious to see that Terrence Crawford, he's most comfortable in the mid-range.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just, man, I'm, you know what I told myself? I walked to the back of my house and I said, you know what? I counted my lucky stars. I said, I am so honored. No, I said honored. I said the word honored. I think Errol Spence. I said I get to cover this guy for the next 5 years. I'm honored to cover this guy. Like, and I said that like humbly, like I was like thankful. I was thanking like the boxing gods, right? I said Errol Spence is special. I'm and this is coming from a guy that didn't believe it 2.5 years ago.
I know,
This is a guy. Well, I was questioning I was even questioning Errol Spence to his face, Derek James to their face. Like, I don't think you're that good. I think you're good, but I don't think you're elite. But now that I've watched him over the 2 years and progress, and knowing that his pedigree, and every time he lands a punch, it's like plus 125, plus 130.
Every time but it's not even every punch he lands. Every punch he throws, he doesn't waste punches at all.
He doesn't waste punches. Derek James told me that he taught me how to throw punches. I swear to God, I be hitting that heavy bag. I'll be like, Derek James says, throw it like this. Throw it like this. I swear to God. He taught me for an hour and a half in the hotel lobby how to throw a combination, how to mix it up. He taught me. Him and Al Bernstein. No lie.
I've noticed a little difference in your technique in your boxing videos.
Thank you, man. Yeah, but yeah, man. Errol Spence is just the creme de la creme, and everyone is, and here's another thing that people aren't understanding. Errol Spence is not only the best today, he is the youngest by date of birth.
Exactly.
So
all the other watchers, they hit in their 30s now.
Yeah, they hit in their 30s. So all that sparring from 7 on will catch up with them sooner. And go ahead.
What do you think of? Let me twist this up a little bit. What do you think about this theory that I seen? I think Boxing Clinic, he changed his name or whatever. But he think like all the welterweights are pretty much gonna try to freeze Errol Spence out.
Man, money ain't gonna allow it. And then they're shrinking them. See, here's the catch, that they're shrinking the market themselves. So it's not like they can go run around and fight. Hypothetically, if Hank Lundy was a 147 guy, Hank Lundy, John Molina, the market is shrinking themselves. So it's not like you can run around for 2 years and freeze him out. The public is going.
That's a big misconception. A lot of people, because a few years ago the welterweight division was so deep.
Yeah.
A lot of people act like the pool is still deep. Like people still talk as if we're still in that. But like back then, you had Adrian Broner in the division, who we thought was up and coming. He's not a relevant welterweight. Floyd Mayweather is gone. Pacquiao is gone. Tim Bradley retired.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Kell Brook moved up to 54. He's kind of irrelevant. Khan started his own career out. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like it's a lot of places.
Devin Alexander. You know what I mean? So
Devin Alexander. Yeah. Tapered off.
Mm-hmm. So the market is not as big as people think it is in their head, because we cover 15 guys in a welterweight division. You know what I mean? So it's like, oh, John Molina, Victor Ortiz, no disrespect to them, they're undercard fighters. You understand what I'm saying? On a big Saturday night. So at the end of the day, it's only 5 fighters in the welterweight division, and they're going to shrink. The market is going to shrink themselves. So they might run for a year. They might get 2 fights in for a year, but the disrespect that they're going to go through if they don't go down to Dallas, Texas. It's
5 fighters, but it's really only 2. And after what I saw tonight, it's really only 1.
It's really only 1. And it's sad. It's like, why the fuck are we having this NBA season? We know Golden State's starting 5 Hall of Famers by after the All-Star break when Cousins gets back. It's like, we know the end result, but we love these storylines. We believe in hope. Some guy sent me a DM. He said, should I bet $200 on Jose Benavidez. I said I don't bet on hope. Like,
right, yeah. And I even saw your video where you was like, "Come on, y'all know you gonna dog him," and I kind of knew that to be true. But I was like, you know what? Like, let me. I didn't believe Benavidez was gonna win, but I was like,
man,
you know what? I was like, you know what? Maybe he could put up a good fight and hold up a good count for himself. But then when I saw him come out with the knee brace, I was like, man, I was like, man, I mean. I'm mad. I paid for my Wi-Fi on my plane to watch the fight. You know, I saw him come out with that knee brace. I'm like, oh, this fight is over.
Man.
And it's funny. So you can tell there must have been some type of something in the contract where Bob Aaron had Benavidez say, you know, don't talk about your knee at all because you know.
1,000. I thought the same thing when ESPN brought it up because they wasn't going. See, ESPN shouldn't have brought it up at all. But
no,
they.
It was too noticeable.
Yeah, it was noticeable. You're right. But they didn't bring it up until it got noticeable. So you're right.
Give me 1 second, friend.
Sure.
I'm about to handle this call.
Yeah.
1 second. Talk to the people.
So make sure y'all go follow Tyran Brown. Tyran Brown 24/7. You know, the rapper that y'all love to hate and love. Y'all always want me to bring him on. But I just man, let me tell you, I didn't know what I was doing then, but now I know what I'm doing. I told Errol, me and Errol Spence have conversations off camera. And I've shared this, guys, with you before, so maybe some of my new subscribers didn't watch that video. But I said, Errol Spence, June 16th, I covered your fight like it was a Floyd Mayweather fight. And I told him I didn't make no money on that fight. You understand what I'm saying? It was a Mexican undercard. No personalities were there. So it's not like I can, in terms of YouTube money, I made contacts. I hooked up with Black Fight Fan. We did some things in terms of some business stuff. But in terms of the fight and YouTube, it wasn't really no money out there for me to make. And I told him I covered the fight because I thought he was great. And because I thought he was great, I sacrificed that weekend to go to the fight as opposed to putting my money in terms of a bigger weekend, because you guys know how frugal I am as it relates to money and how disciplined I am as it relates to money. And tonight reconfirmed that. It's like Terrence Crawford is literally Creighton, right? They're the best mid-major in America. I'm talking about when they had Doug McBuckets, right? And Errol Spence is the Duke Blue Devils. You know, like, people believe in Butler. They went to the championship back-to-back years, and what they do, they lost back-to-back times. Some of you going to say they lost a close game to Duke. Yes, they did, but they still lost back-to-back years. So at the end of the day, Errol Spence is an elite athlete. He's special. I'm humbled and honored. I'm telling you, as I said, I was walking back to the TV room. I said, there's just no way I see anyone beating Errol Spence. And to go a step further, the mega fight at 147, based off his last two performances, the mega fight is Keith Thurman and Errol Spence. I like coming up. Are you back, T?
T Brown.
Okay, I'll share my thoughts about that. But go ahead. I just got to finish saying that I thought that, in my humble opinion, based off their last two fights, I honestly don't know who he is now, but I said the mega fight at 147 is Errol Spence, Keith Thurman. You know, it's not Terrence Crawford. It's not Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence. Oh, T, you're not done yet. Oh, T ain't done. T ain't done yet. So, he's getting a lime green sky on right now. So, but that's the mega fight. And in terms of PR, in terms of promoting, in terms of easy to make, I don't know how easy that fight is to make, but I'm talking about just Looking at that fight from 50,000 feet, I think that fight is much easier to make than Terrence Crawford. And don't get me wrong, Terrence Crawford is an A-level fighter. He don't, but I didn't see A-level power. I didn't see A-level infighting with Terrence Crawford. And I was watching this fight, and I was watching how he countered. It was a beautiful counter uppercut that he landed. But I was thinking, like, how great of a fighter is Floyd Mayweather? I'm like, dude, y'all take this shit for granted. I take it for granted so much. I made so much money betting on Floyd Mayweather. It's ridiculous. But we take Floyd Mayweather's skill set, ring IQ, ring journalship for granted so much. Terrence Crawford was getting hit by lead rights that I thought that, how can he get hit by it? You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, man.
We back.
Okay, all you, T. Go ahead. All you, T.
What we talking about?
I said that I was watching this fight and I was saying that how people take how great Floyd Mayweather is for granted. Like, I'm watching this fight, I'm like, Floyd Mayweather is special.
I tell my girl all the time, I'm like, man, babe, like, I don't show you enough Floyd. Like, and that's the thing, because you hear Tim Bradley, try to say Terrence Crawford is the most complete fighter and is like on Floyd's level. Floyd, no matter how you might feel about the man personally, different type of dude, man. Like his fighting skills, and that's what I'm saying. What I was looking for, what I was looking to see in Terrence Crawford is what I was looking for to see from Errol Spence versus Lamont Peterson. Mm-hmm. That's what I was looking to see tonight. I was looking to see Terrence Crawford get in the ring to show Benavidez. I was looking for Terrence Crawford to make some people say, "Ooh, I don't think Errol Spence could fuck with him." I don't believe that, but that's what I was looking for. That's the statement I was looking for Terrence Crawford to make tonight.
Nah, he didn't.
Floyd, like I said, Floyd from 96 all the way. I mean, you got the Castillo fight, the first Castillo fight. But other than that, every fight that was supposed to be a step-up fight, or whether it was the champion that he was taking a belt from, or whether it was a challenger that was supposed to be somewhere near his level, dominated. Mm-hmm. Like dominated. I don't know how many of your followers know who Gennaro Hernandez is.
Oh man, yeah, come on, man. He was a world champion.
Only lost one fight.
Mm-hmm.
Against
Oscar De La Hoya. Oscar's first belt was against Gennaro Hernandez. That's if I'm not mistaken.
And Floyd made him look irrelevant.
He made him look like Roberto Guerrero.
Diego
Dude, Diego. Oh, thank you. Okay, thank you. That's Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford. People, it's a 50-50 fight, man. Terrence Crawford gonna be picking his ass up. I don't know how many times, man. That's it. He gonna walk. You still there, Tyran?
Yeah.
Okay. He gonna walk, man. He gonna beat the man. He gonna beat the brakes off of him. He gonna beat the. I mean, it's just. Oh man. And I'm watching the fight, rooting for Terrence Crawford. And I got money on him, obviously, but I inherently was rooting for Terrence Crawford. Like he walked in the ring playing, I forget what song he was playing. He walked in the ring and did his, and I'm like, I'm rooting for Terrence Crawford this fight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, I thought, this is no way, man. I'm watching. I'm like, he gonna get underneath all that shit. He gonna catch all that shit, and even when they're infighting on the inside, I think that Terrence, I mean, he ain't gonna be able to engage with him. He won't be, man. His elbow is gonna be pinned to his side. Man, Errol Spence is special, man. I can't wait to interview him. I can't wait to interview Errol Spence, man. I thought about calling. I thought about shooting him a text right now, but I know everyone else is. He's on the phone with all his friends and shit, and they're like, "Man, I'll dust him off." So yeah.
So real quick before I get off,
Oh, go ahead. I know it's Saturday night. What's up?
Yeah, I'm out here in Vegas. It's my boy 30th birthday party, so we just
Okay.
have to go celebrate.
Oh yeah, I saw. Hey, I saw your story. You like you had two girls. You had your girl and her girlfriend, or your girlfriend, and it's like take me to the airport. You said you don't even miss me. In my head, I was like, Tyran, you ain't left yet, nigga.
Hilarious.
I'm like, you gotta leave for them to miss you, Tyran. Go ahead, though.
So I was thinking about something when I got off the phone with you right now, and you saying that you know Terrence Crawford is used to just like imposing his will on everybody. So I'm thinking about him being at 135, and he was just way too tall and way too big for everybody. I'm thinking of him at 140. He was just way too quick to the punch and still stronger than everybody. And I'm thinking about the fight against Jeff Warren. Jeff Warren knew he didn't have a fucking chance in hell. And so this is the first fight. Because say what you want about this fight, but one thing, like Jose Benavidez was not scared of Terrence Crawford at all.
At all, he just wasn't physically able to fight.
Yeah. So seeing that, and like I said, I'm just taking in what you're saying. Seeing that, what do you think is gonna happen? Like I want to call Terrence Crawford a bully. But one thing that kind of turned me off on him a little bit, but I'm still a fan of his, is he sometimes does have like bully mannerisms. And one thing we all know about bullies is like once somebody stands up to you, don't really know how to handle that.
Yeah.
And one thing we know, Spence is a silent assassin.
I'm pretty sure he posted something on Twitter by now, man. Yeah, man.
I just want all the listeners and stuff to kind of just pay attention to that. Take heed to what Fred said. Let that sink in a little bit. If Terrence Crawford is used to imposing and dominating every aspect of his life, if the story is true about his mom offering $10 for anybody that could beat him and nobody could, and that's just the way he carried himself.
Oh my God, you going deep? Yeah.
What about when you face that person that's just as not scared of you as Jose Benavidez, who's just as athletic as you, who's taller than you, who's stronger than you, who got just as much will to win as you, and who doesn't. Once again, Errol Spence doesn't carry himself in a physically opposing way, but he just has this aura around him that makes everybody want to be around him, makes everybody want to be with him.
You're right. He's very inviting.
You got a good glimpse of that when you was in New York. You see all these other fighters are supposed to be, if not competitors in weight classes, and competitors of one in Errol Spence's spot. Yeah. They clamoring around him like, you know what I mean? So it's like it's just a different type of aura. So when Terrence Crawford is faced with that aura, I'm interested to see how he's gonna respond to that.
Man, we just need to see Errol Spence fight 3 times a year, man. It's time. It's his season, man. We going for the ride, man. It's the Golden State 5, man. We here for the ride, man. Can they get to 73 wins? Like you know what I mean? Like, how is he gonna dismantle his opponents moving forward, man? The first 4 rounds will be competitive, because they're A-level fighters. Yes, we all know that. Well, if he would have did this in the 3rd round, he did in the 7th round. Well, your body ain't the same it is in the 3rd round it is in the 7th round. So people gonna have, man, I am grateful and I'm thankful that I get to cover a guy like Errol Spence. One, because he understands the long end of game in terms of who he is, and he's gracious with not just me as a media member, but every media member outlet that chooses to interview him. And and he's humble. His humility is high than a month. How is your humility so high and you destroy people for a living and you're the second baddest man on the planet? Like, those don't go together. Humility and the second baddest man on the planet, and we got access to both of them. The baddest man on the planet and the second baddest man on the planet, A and 1.0 and 2.0. I don't know if they want to be considered second best to one another. So, you know what I mean?
It's, I got a question.
Yes.
I got a question for you, and I want your followers, subscribers to answer this question as well. Errol Spence was in that ring tonight with Jose Benavidez. How long would that fight have gone?
I said 7.
I'm gonna give Benavidez the benefit of the doubt because he got hard, but Errol Spence would have got on the inside so fast and chopped that body down. I'd give him a fault. Yeah,
it wouldn't have been a fight. Yeah, you're right. Somewhere in there, because Errol Spence would have figured out. He's giving me no resistance when I get inside. So I'm gonna go inside in the second round and see what he does. Oh, he does nothing on the inside? Okay. All right, I got it. Derek, have a seat. I got this for the rest of the fight. I got this. Don't worry about it. It's going to be Ocampo 2.0. Don't worry about it. I got this. It's just going to take longer than one round. But I got this, Derek. You don't need to say nothing else. You know what I mean? And even by Terrence Crawford's own admission, he said he was confused. And in my head, I'm like, there's nothing to be confused about Benavidez. He said he was confused for a bit.
I didn't see the
Yeah, in the post-fight press conference, he said, obviously it take time to figure him out, but he said he was confused for a bit. And I said, in my head, I said, there's nothing to be confused about as it relates to him. I'm not saying people are going to say, well, you get in there 5. That's not where I'm coming from. I'm talking about like his game plan. I'm talking about the game plan. Like Jose Benavidez, his defense was high guard and go straight back. So all you got to do is throw a double jab and take a step in and see how he responds. And if he goes high guard, you like, okay, the next round I'm a double jab and left hook his ass to the body. You understand? Well, I'm gonna keep my right hand up just in case because it's so early in the fight, you don't want to get countered. So I'm not gonna release my right hand yet because I don't know who he is yet. So, but at the end of the day, man, honestly, you and I are having this conversation because it validates what we thought. It validates our suspicions.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? With people saying, oh, because you know what? We fell prey to the propaganda just a little bit. Like, okay, maybe Terrence Crawford can beat Errol Spence or make it a competitive. Hell no. Hell no. He's not. Hell no. It's nobody that can beat Errol Spence. And you know what? I swear to God, after the fight, when while I was doing my video, I wanted to say there's no one that can beat him at 54. But I didn't want to go that far because I didn't want to make an emotional statement like that. But I was like, if Jared Hurd goes up to 160 because of his durability factor, not because he's more skilled, but I think maybe he fatigues, maybe he can fatigue. I don't know. But I'm just saying outside of him at 160, at 154, because he's not fighting Charlo. So outside of him, who can beat him at 54?
I think if Andre would have stayed at 154, I think Andre would probably beat Errol Spence.
Andre, really?
So what?
Really? He would have uppercut the shit out of Andre, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He would have caught him because we all know how Andre slips punches. You know how he slips punches and shit?
Yeah.
He drops his levels and goes on, you know what I mean? Maybe he would have got caught like that. Because remember, he's slipping Errol Spence hook. You know what I mean? So if he's slipping Errol Spence hook, the uppercut is coming. You know what I mean? And he would have figured that out by the third round. But that we ain't got to worry about that because he's at 160.
And
so.
One responsibility that I'm gonna hold you to is giving us more of an insight on Derek James because I could just tell, but I don't have the actual evidence of it, like by just having hearing enough of the dialogue, but you could tell that Derek James is locked in as a trainer.
He is, and you know what? He's so locked in. He said, "I got 2 fighters." That's my job. I don't think he's got Rob Brand anymore. I don't think so. But he said I got 2 fighters, or if he ever had them, I'm uncertain. But he says these are my job. I got 2 fighters, and they fortunate enough they both great. Uh, he and I talk all the time, through text and shit like that. So like it's he is locked in as a trainer, and he's very professional too. He says nothing but positive stuff about, like, he says, man, Terrence Crawford is the truth. He has a great trainer, yada yada yada, and everyone else has relate. He just says my guy is just better. Like my guy, like he said, he always says my guy. My guy is just better. Like, but it's just Errol Spence is just cut from a different cloth. And dude, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna be like Derek. The next Errol Spence fight, hopefully I have time. I'm gonna be like Derek James. Remember that conversation we had? Can you do that demonstration for everybody? Because I talk about that shit so much, about that conversation we had. Can you teach people how to throw punches? Because man, seriously, man, it would be a joy. It's like how you and I enjoy how Ellie goes to that guy. I don't know his name, but for people to understand, he's the balding white guy on Ellie's channel. Yeah, the dude in. I'm mesmerized by him.
You can tell he's just locked in on Bryson, and he's kind of a comedian. It took me just like a funny guy.
Yeah, he is a funny guy. He is a funny, and he still fights. Yeah.
But when I'm a little confused on fights, I go listen to him.
Me too. I always go to his prediction videos. I do. Oh, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna see what he got to say about this prediction video. Man, I love him, man. I forget Brandon Krause. Because I don't want to define him by color because he's such a great dude. Brandon Krause, y'all need to go to Ellie's page. Ellie interviews him at least 10 times a week, and I'm not 10, but it's 10 videos a week probably, and he does a hell of a job with them. So, but yeah, man.
And Derek James, like.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm gonna ask Derek James. I'm gonna ask him to.
And the little interviews, like even just once again, just little subtle things I noticed. If you remember the first Kell Brook press conference, he said in Kell Brook's first 25 fight, his opponents had 870 losses.
I remember that shit. I remember that.
And he was like, so you was an average of 13 and 43. So just little things like that just shows me how much he pays attention to detail. And when I go back and watch the Errol Spence Kell Brook fight without my emotion, because it was rounds that I thought Errol Spence was losing when I was watching it live, but I'm looking back, I'm like, oh, he's just digging in the body. Like he's just slowly breaking them down.
It's dude, when you rewatch that fight, you like Errol Spence is the boogeyman.
Yeah.
And the only people that know who's landing those punches is Kell Brook. See, the fans don't see that shit. The fans are looking for them headshots.
The fans don't see it.
Hell no, they don't see that shit to the body.
The fans don't know how much Floyd's quick jab to the body was affecting people.
Oh man.
They don't know. They don't, because it just looks so light, because it's just so fast, but it's precise and it's exactly where he wants to land it. And he lands it, and he's at the exact range that he wants to be in. Errol Spence, when he lands those hooks to the body, it's taking some of your soul from you.
Man, and another thing too, you mentioned Floyd. Floyd probably could beat Terrence Crawford. Like
right now?
No, I'm basing it off of like his last 2 fights. Like that's what I'm not counting Conor McGregor. I'm basing off of like Manny Pacquiao and Andre Berto. He's so far removed. Like
Floyd wins those fights by
pace.
Baiting Terrence Crawford to engage and hitting his ass with flush out straight right.
Yeah.
Pull counters straight right. And then once again, Floyd is just the most complete fight you've ever seen. Floyd had a disgusting inside game.
Disgusting. Dude, I tell everybody in the world, if you want to learn boxing 101, Floyd Mayweather versus Miguel Cotto. Boxing 101 in my eyes, that's my go-to fight. I've been saying that since I had my channel. That is when I'm bored, it's like me watching the New York Giants win the Super Bowl here out in LA when Otis Anderson won the MVP. You know, like that's my go-to. That's my go-to thing that I watch. But boxing, when I'm bored on a lazy Tuesday night and I'm trying to think of maybe I ain't got no news to dictate and I just want to watch boxing, Floyd Mayweather versus Miguel Cotto. Oh man, he pushed Floyd. He tried to push Floyd and he did push Floyd. He pushed Floyd to greatness. That's what the fuck he did.
That's exactly what. That's just a different dog. Like I said, it's a lot of things about Floyd to where people are gonna overlook it. But every time he got challenged to be great, he dug deep and then dominated. Shane Mosley hit him with everything. Bounced back to that and dominated. Diego Corrales, he was the underdog. Diego Corrales was supposed to be 2 months that he bit off. And he dominated Diego Corrales every second of that fight.
Hey, you know what I was thinking about too? Hey, that Shane Mosley Floyd Mayweather fight brought out every Floyd Mayweather hater in the world. When Shane Mosley landed that right hand, everyone was like, "Oh, I didn't know you was a racist. Oh, my bad." I was like, "Oh shit, you really, man." I'm like, "Man, y'all bet." He won the next 10 rounds. I was nervous because I had money on Floyd. I don't know how much money I had on him that fight, but I was like, shit, I was nervous. I was like, damn, this motherfucker got hit. The fuck, Floyd?
With that fight, my head was with Floyd, but my heart is with Shane. I'm always go for the LA guy.
Yeah, the LA guy, but yeah, but honestly, Shane Mosley didn't. I know, man. Go ahead and enjoy your night, man, because we know Shane Mosley wasn't a black fighter. You know what I mean?
Oh,
yeah, you know what I mean. But yeah. Now people gonna get in the comments says, but he didn't appeal to the black. You know what I mean? His audience. Yeah, he didn't want to. So, but yeah.
That's another combo for another day. I'm pulling up on the Airbnb right now.
Oh, y'all about to have a good time, man. Have a great time. When you come back tomorrow morning?
Like Monday morning.
Oh, y'all got 2 nights.
Yeah.
Oh, that turned up about to be serious.
Yeah, man, but we gonna chop it up more, man. It's a lot to talk about.
Okay, I'll holler. Appreciate you hitting me, Ty. Tyran Brown, 24/7 on IG. Holla.